Hello there YouTube, I'm Wizard21 and on today's rolling review we'll be looking at the Fujimi Chibimaru Toho series, which starts off with Godzilla. As you can see, this box art looks wonderful and splendid for this new style of Chibi Godzilla model kits and figures and products based on all of Toho's cinematic kaiju and vehicles. Now, we only have two in the line, and only two are still confirmed thus far. And I'm guessing that's possibly because these figures are little known. Not many people have been talking about them. Not many people have even been reviewing them. But the box art I really do like. I like the art. It's really wonderful. The side shows actually how the model kit should look once done constructing and building it. Now, for the instructions, I gotta say, I don't really like the straight unfolding paper that they give it to you on. I prefer it being a little bit like a condensed book file, because the way it just unfolds, it's kind of ridiculous. It comes out like an almost straight-on poster when you open it up, and as you can see, it seems to be mostly difficult when constructing, honestly, the head and really just the hands by putting in his actual claws and talons. That's probably the hardest thing I had while constructing it. So we'll get into the actual little miniature model figurine now. Here is your Chibimaru Godzilla, which honestly is based off of its Millennium designs. It's loosely a composite between, I would say, the Tokyo SOS and the original Final Wars poster arts Godzilla, as you can see, due to how his dorsal plate, his skirts, as a visible ninja likes to call them, are designed. They have a very Millennium-esque style, as well as his facial design is very Millennium-esque, not Heisei, which is preferably the more favored design in Japan. The Chibimaru does feature a lot of points of articulation while being cast in a dark black charcoal plastic rather than a lighter tone to be more suited to the basic Godzilla design. People may argue, though, it was a lot darker for the later Millennium films as well as the Heisei films compared to the Showa era, where sometimes it even confused people for being green. So, when talking about the articulation, as mentioned, it has 2 points in the tail, and really well done, really well sway to the joint. It goes up and down, and the back part here actually can swivel all the way around, which you shouldn't really do that because Godzilla doesn't do that either. The actual waist and hips, an actual head joint, which can go 360, a mouth joint with a nice articulated tail, I thought, but it's just actually the piece that holds the jaw all together. Eyes that look like they could be easily rotatable, but they're one solid piece with 3 different types of stickers you're supposed to put on it. I just chose the very basic option, as well as his hips move. They're a little tight, and they don't really move around as much, but he never really moves his legs too much. His feet have a ball joint, and his arms usually tend to pop off because they're just on like these little suction valves. They were actually part of the hardest thing in the figure to construct, as I said earlier, when looking at the instructions. These claws pissed me off just because of how small and tiny they are. I couldn't really go in there and find, well, like, I should say file areas on them just because they were so small and minute that I kept dropping the pieces. And so I gotta say, overall though, the arms are probably the most difficult, but also have 3 points of articulation in general. Last off, the figure does come with a thermonuclear blast, which honestly looks more like a Dragon Ball Z effect for a Kamea wave. The only indication it shows that it is a Godzilla thermonuclear blast is the fact there's a slot for his tongue to be locked into, as well as it's perfectly able to fit in his jaw. And it does take a little while to actually plug it in there, but it should be able to insert correctly. Honestly, it's a really cool effect to have, but I would have preferred if they gave you a second option where it looks like it's actually hitting off of an kaiju or surface of, say, like a tank or a Super X vehicle. It's evaluation time, and for my final evaluation, the Toho Chibimaru series, number 1, Gojira, or Godzilla, Gojira, whatever you want to say, I don't care which pronunciation you choose, is a nice and beautiful and cute and adorable model kit and figurine. Now, I wouldn't insist posing it should be excessively done, because, well, the arms tend to pop out, the plates tend to pop out, and once in a blue moon, the mouth actually falls out. So once you get it posed in the position you want to keep it in that position. Because, well, stuff just pops out. They say no glue is needed, but I feel like you might want to just do it to secure some of the joints. Just some of them. Mostly the plate, wouldn't say the mouth, wouldn't say the claws. Just mostly the plates, actually. Yeah, always the plates. But I do think that one of the biggest issues I had, other than the assembly, is the fine-tuning, like sanding and clipping off the pieces and excessive parts once removed from the sprues, because it's often difficult depending on where the placement was. So for model builders, you'll probably hate it. First-timers, this is going to be at least somewhat easy for you if you don't collect, say, Gundam models or any other type of models out there. Do I recommend it? Yes, if people actually want to see this line expand and further. We only have 2 thus far since March, Godzilla and Maser Tank. I'm hoping this includes the entire Toho library, not just Godzilla or other Godzilla-based characters, because I'm hoping we get Rebirth of Mothra to Chibimaru figures. But I highly doubt it, even though these kits are affordable. They're only $15 to $20. You can find them in most online retailers, like, say, AmiAmi, Hobby Link Japan, because they supply model kits for international markets, for people who love tokusatsu and anime, and all that jazz. So, I highly recommend it if you love Godzilla and love model kits. If you love SD and Chibimaru stuff, you'll want to have this. I do think the box art is wonderful. I actually would love to see like actual collectible trading cards inserted in of the box art, or little miniature posters rather than just having the box. Other than that, I think it's just a nice little desk piece. If you can closely see, though, the head doesn't really close in well. What I would have changed is actually trying to add in more of a eye feature, making it able to be rotate and maneuvered about to make it look like he's actually looking and glaring at stuff, as well as I would have added maybe just additional effect parts for his thermonuclear blast. If you don't want to get it, you can just easily skip it, but if you're a huge diehard Godzilla fan, you're probably missing this in your collection if you haven't heard about these yet. So, if you actually like this review, like this little demo, and consider buying it, I insist you like this video, possibly subscribe to my channel for future Chibimaru Godzilla model kits, as well as check me out at Hirotaku and Hero Club. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you next time with the Maser Tank.